Hello everyone, Simon here. Let's play some more Phoenix Wright. We are playing continue this. Alright, we're going into the first day of the trial for episode 2. June 21, 9:48 AM, District Court Defendant Lobby number 3! Nani? Prosecutor Von Karma, you mean? No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor! Manfred von Karma was a really sinister man, I mean. Yeah. Also kind of stereotypical. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks so he could win. I remember. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. Which is It's kind of silly because the world is not perfect, right? Like, reality is not perfect. So if you have a goal of perfection, you are always gonna fail. You are 100% guaranteed to fail. So it's just not very smart. Anyway, he had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sort of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor, I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya! Pearly! Wait, why is she here? Why is she here? Doesn't she live 2 hours away by train? You showed up! Thanks for coming all this way! I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? No. This is not right. Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Ah, then you came all by yourself. Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed the map. You should not do that. I mean, maybe Japan is a nicer place than other parts of the world. Yeah, you should not do that. The chances of something really bad happening to you, to an 8-year-old little girl, is very high. Right. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. Don't do that. I can't. Oh my. If it takes 2 hours by train, oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? Well, you're gonna be in a courtroom. What can he do to you? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's next rival. Well, he's also a friend. It's complicated. I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. It was always back and forth with them, but when you are rivals for life... Maya, please don't mention that name ever again. I have broken up with him, we are no longer boyfriends. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya, I forgot you don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back. We broke up. Nani? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly, please proceed to the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? June 21, 10 AM, District Court, courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? What is with this kid? Ahem, Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? No, it's because you are young. Hold on, so she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma. I'm Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. You call yourself the prodigy? Do other people call you the prodigy, or is it just you who call yourself the prodigy? I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge! Maybe you shouldn't have done that. I don't think revenge is worth that much. Revenge! Is this about her father, Manfred von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. That's not how courts work. That's not how courts work. Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. Yeah. Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood have only one fate. That's not a good idea. And that is perfection. Yeah, no, that's not a good idea. I knew it. I knew that's not a good idea. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well, what is the defense's position? Your Honor, does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. Oh, that's a good one, I like that one. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. Can you change your plea halfway through? That's right, I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense. A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because to plead justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father, like daughter, I suppose. I don't know if they're scary as much as they're silly. Witness, your name and occupation. Yes, sir, my name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Wait, he just answered your question. What? You asked him name and occupation and he told you his name and occupation. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, the only victim and the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. Ah, and that's when they found the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. Floor plans added to the court record. We cannot interact with this. There is space behind the screen. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time then. There's literally no time has been wasted. Cause of death! The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. Was it? The shot was fired from point-blank range. Point-blank? See, like, point-blank doesn't actually mean... Hold on, what does point-blank actually mean? I'm just gonna Google this. It's not... It's a shot fired from very close to the target. But it's not actually what that means. Point-blank range is any distance over which a certain firearm can hit a target without the need to compensate for bullet drop. Without the need to compensate for bullet drop. Point-blank range could be like 20 meters away. Because like the bullet drop is not significant enough for you to have to worry about it. Point-blank range will vary by a weapon's external ballistics characteristics and the size of the target. So in popular usage, point-blank range has come to mean extremely close range with a firearm, yet not close enough to be a contact shot. So not contact, you're not actually pressed against them, but close enough. But point-blank is not actually what you think it means. Like what people think it means is very close, but actually it means like no bullet drop. Or not enough bullet drop for it to matter. Battle Zero is any distance. In the military, Battle Zero is any distance where you can just put the crosshairs on the person and shoot and it'll hit them well enough. So rifles are usually 0 to like I think about 100 or 200 meters, probably 100 meters. So when the person is like when the target is closer than 20 meters, you have to aim down to hit them because it's zeroed. So battle 0 is like 100 meters, I think. Yeah, so like point blank is not what you think it means. Anyway, let's go back to the game. Point blank is actually quite far away. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Autopsy report added to court record. After being stabbed in the chest, he was shot in the forehead at point blank. The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. Ah. The victim. Now, why would he have... Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? I care. The point is that you are missing... The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints? There were fingerprints. Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Face, were also on the grip, sir. Yes. But he still could have shot himself. He still could have shot himself because his prints are on the gun. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. Arg, I walked right into her hands there. Well, no, that's the evidence. Wait, we don't have the gun here. And we don't have the fingerprints. The shot was fired from point-blank range. Point-blank, huh? So about how far away is that? It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. 12 inches. 12 inches. You can't see. 12 inches is far enough that it would be inconvenient for him to shoot himself. You can't see it, can you? Yeah, no, the camera's too close to me. So 12 inches. If you get a ruler and you go 12 inches from like your head to your hand, it's actually like quite far. It's not like this. So it would be unlikely to be him shooting himself, and especially not 20 inches. Like I can't even reach 20 inches, I don't think. And how do you know he was shot at point blank? This, Mr. Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Let him answer the question, dumbass. Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. I see, and whose knife was it? He was stabbed with a fruit knife because he's a fruit. And whose knife was it? It looks like it belongs to the face, sir. And of course, my face fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? This does not look good. Ah ha 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 ha! What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. Wow, how severe was the wound? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes it sound like Maya has stabbed him with the intent to kill. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yep, sure as sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. What are you talking about? A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantaneously. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open the big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Of course it matters what was first. What a pain. That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the two murder weapons with me today. Very well, the court accepts them into the evidence. Wait, 2 shots were fired. Pistol added to court record. Murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired. Bears Myers and Gray's fingerprints. Murder weapon, a small fruit knife, belongs to the face. Bears Myers' fingerprints. The date and time of death was June 19 at 3:15 PM. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time, and 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case. But where did the second shot go? Naturally. This is going from bad to worse, as if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there's no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes? Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You will change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. But why? Why would it be self-defense? What evidence is there for self-defense? there's no evidence for that either. You know. It's not. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. I'd better think this through all the way. Nope. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined and she'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor, have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective. Yes, sir. Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike. Yes, sir. Now, see here, proceedings are run by... Oh yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Why would you not present that first? This is so stupid. Come on. This dumbass game. Incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. Why didn't you present that first? This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fate to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Maya's costume, added to the court record. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder, there are blood splatters on it. Is it his blood? Is it the doctor's blood? Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could the situation get any worse? Ah, what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You came all the way over here for such an open and shut case? You came all the way from Germany for something this simple? Please stop calling me by my full name, it's disturbing. Incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. Why is it more incriminating than the weapons? Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kinda scary today, you know, pal. Come now, Mr. Wright. There's no need for that kind of attitude in my court. Sure there is. Alright, just please stop glaring at me like that. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. Maya's costume. Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today too. There's more than one costume. Is she not allowed to wear anything else? As you can see, it's covered in blood. This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it is the victim's blood. Okay, thanks for telling me that. Why didn't you say that earlier? So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. So were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. Yeah, he must. But too bad, not enough time, let's move on. No. Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Grr, now even the judge is on her side. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? Press further! Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. Oh, that's a bullet hole. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder. Mr. Wright! Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect, there is no way for you to poke a hole in it. Thanks, video game. Thanks for making it so obvious. Arg, looks like my time is up, so about the costume. There's one little thing. Your Honor. Actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. Nani? Nani are you talking about, pal? Dots. Where is this problem you are talking about? I've come this far, there's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve! There is a tiny hole here. Ah, a hole. But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. You're so bad. You're so bad, Gumshoe. A hole that smells of gunpowder. It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Maya's costume updated in the court record. Press the check button for details. Sorry about that, I guess we messed up, sir. Yeah, you sure did. You sure did. Okay, so the hole is there. There's also a bullet hole in the screen. About 8 inches off the ground, there's a small hole that looks like a bullet hole. Shot through the sleeve and then through the screen. But we don't know from which side it was shot through. And the sleeve as well, we don't know from which side it was shot through. Was it shot from behind to the front or from the front to behind? If you could see where the gunpowder residue is, you would know that, but the game's not telling us. Dots! Dots! Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. There's more testimony. Why don't you just give us the whole testimony? Instead of in pieces. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. While I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true, the evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then... No way! Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. The defendant attacked and killed a person who without a doubt was not fighting back. He wasn't fighting back? How do you know if he was or wasn't? We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around the murder might change drastically. Ugh, we're in real trouble now. If only I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That Von Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. Well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow, and then I'll have her. He fought back, stabbed in the chest, then shot at point blank, gunpowder residue around a bullet hole. 2 shots. What's crazy? 2 shots fired. Bear in mind his engraved fingerprints. He was only shot once. The gun was fired twice. But he was only shot once. And because there was a bullet hole in the screen, a shot was fired towards the screen. Assuming there isn't a second gun. If this is the only gun, then a shot was fired towards the screen. Okay. Alright, but which piece of evidence does the game want me to show, and where does the game want me to show it? Costume was wearing, as you can see, it's covered in blood. Defendant technically without a doubt was not fighting back. Do I present this here? No. Jesus. Oh, come on. This stupid game. Was not fighting back. Present. Is it this bullet hole? It is this bullet hole. Why this bullet hole and not the other bullet hole? Anyway, Detective Dick Gumshoe! Yes. Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who without a doubt was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this not what it means to not fight back? Ah, you're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Ha! What is with that? Are you finished yet, Laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Miss Von Karma. It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. This is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defendant clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Egg. Not at you. Why, that's right. Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all. Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Ah! Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we have acquired added in, of course. Why? Why don't you just tell the whole thing at the start? Why is this game so unnecessarily convoluted? Huh, you mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Yes sir, right away sir. What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. No, you said earlier that he had no ability to fight back after the stab. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. This scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Hold on. Stabbed in the chest and shot at point blank. It doesn't show the bloodstain. It's kinda not useful. Stabbed in the chest and shot point blank. 2 shots fired. Knife. The defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. There is quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Added body strength, and it would seem unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? Yeah. When channeling with the Curain channeling technique, the medium physically changes. What? That's not part of the science. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor. That's... Are we accepting that as reality now? I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Curain channeling technique. Like I said before, I'm perfect. About what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Never mind. Let's continue with the testimony.